I lost $320,000, not because I got scammed, but because I made dumb decisions. If you're trying to grow fast and skip the pain, I hope this video saves you. So the first dumb investment I ever made was over $100,000 that I spent on learning how to buy and flip drop shipping stores. Now, one of two things will usually happen. Either you're going to, in the beginning of your business, have shiny object syndrome because you're broke, and so every single opportunity you see, you're gonna try to chase, or you're gonna get to a higher level in business and you're gonna get really comfortable, and then because the business is no longer growing, you start looking in other directions when in reality, you just need to dive deeper into the business. So for me, I was at over $2 million per month hitting my accounts, but I couldn't figure out how to scale the business. And I won't go into why all those issues were, that's for another video, but the business was stalling and I could not figure out what to do. So I saw one of my friends, he actually dabbles in a lot of things. And one of the things I saw was him posting about, hey, I just bought this store and I flipped it for $250 or $500,000 or whatever the number was. And it was a lot of money. And I remember looking at that and saying, I was like, yeah, I could definitely do that. So I wired over $100,000 and he started teaching me, you know, what to do and what to say and all this type of stuff. And I think after a few weeks, I quickly learned that this was gonna take a lot more time than I think I was ready to actually put into the venture. And I started to realize, hey, this is pulling focus off my main business. And as it pulled focus off my main business, that revenue started to drop. And this revenue didn't really go anywhere because you have to put a lot of time and effort into getting stuff moving. So think of it this way. If you're moving a boulder up a hill, the beginning is gonna be the hardest. Once it's actually moving, it gets a lot easier. And so it would have been a lot easier to take my current business and try to fix that, right? Versus starting something completely different. Because then what it did is I took my eye off the current business, the revenue started to go down, like I said, and this business, it wasn't even getting off the ground because I had to put in probably 10 times more effort to get things to start to move. So overall, that was not a great investment for me. And I wouldn't say that he necessarily scammed me or, you know, tried to scam me or whatever word you want to throw out there, but I didn't have the time and effort and energy to put into that business to get it off the ground. And when this business is already doing 2 million a month and this business is doing zero, maybe it does, you know, 100,000 a month or whatever I can get to, it's not worth the trade-off. And so that was a terrible investment I made because I had shiny object syndrome. But as crazy as it sounds, that wasn't even the dumbest investment I made. The next stupidest investment was investing over $50,000 for a 2-day in-person meetup with a YouTube coach who actually has worked with Mr. Beast. And so I thought, oh my gosh, like this guy's worked with Mr. Beast. He's gonna absolutely blow up my channel. And when I went there, I had very high hopes, but as we sat down, all we really did for the majority of the time was talk about who I wanted to go after. So kind of basic stuff for me, avatar, what's my offer, like who do I want to attract? And then we spent the rest of the time just looking at top YouTube videos and then breaking those videos down. And it wasn't that it was bad, it wasn't that it wasn't helpful necessarily, but for $50,000, I was expecting a little bit more over 2 days. And so after we went through all of it, it was kind of the stuff that's been repeated to me over the years. So what you'll notice is as you hire different coaches and consultants, it's not always that it's a bad use of time and investment. It's just that you've heard the same thing probably 7 times, and after a while you start to learn there's no secret sauce. There's nothing that's just gonna magically blow up your YouTube channel or blow up your Instagram. It's consistent effort over time and then adjusting based off the feedback from the statistics. And so when we went there and we looked at different YouTubers' videos, I was a little underwhelmed because I've been shown this before for less money. And so it was kind of a reminder, you kind of need to go back to the basics and you got to put more work in versus looking for a new hack or a new trick or a new skill. So after $50,000 was invested there and over 2 days, nothing really new was learned. That, in my opinion, was a very bad investment.